Hey, what it do? It's your boy Chava. I'm here with Sam.
What up?
This is the Bad Samaritan podcast.
What it do, baby?
Man, what a crazy week this week. This week, we got the divisional against the Packers. Squeaked in a win. How do you feel, Sam?
It was man, that was just it was a heavy win, man. I felt just like that. I felt like a pause. Like couldn't breathe.
It was a palpitation.
Yeah, man. Just flying in back from Burbank into SFO. It was nerve-wracking to say the least. Pretty much I think it's the worst game we've had all season that we won.
Yep.
I think the game that we played was worse than all the losses that we had this season.
Yeah.
And then the difference was that on the last drive that Brock Purdy needed, he played, the best football he's been playing all season. He executed a drive that, aside from a wide open George Kittle just brain fart drop, would have been perfect. It wasn't pretty, but it was pretty.
It was pretty, man. Yeah, I agree 100% with that. That was the worst game that we've played that we've won this year. I think it's one of our worst performances of the year. Kind of aside from the Ravens. The Ravens was kind of we spiraled out with some mistakes and some unfortunate happenings. This one was there was nothing almost unfortunate about this game. It was all us kind of not stepping up and executing what we needed to do.
Yeah, the reason why I don't think the Ravens game is the worst game of the season is because I think those 5 turnovers that we had, it's not likely to happen again.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if it happens in the Super Bowl or happens next game, then maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, it's just sometimes games are just outliers. Even in that Ravens game, I thought the defense played pretty well. It really just was Brock throwing the ball to the wrong guys, forcing some stuff, and kind of just spiraling. So it's like, to me, like, is it a bad game? 100%. Of
course.
But it's like, I could just tell that it was just like some of those tips and interceptions were just like, wow, that's just the football gods are just not on our side today.
Yep.
In this Packers game, man, like, we were beat. We lost that game.
Yeah, they took
Jordan Love came over, had a great game plan.
Played way better than Purdy for the whole game.
What's that?
He played better than Purdy for the game.
But the whole team just was You know, it was like they came in here, they executed a game plan. I think both in one of the interviews, either before or after, has said it best, where it's like, hey, without Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams now, like, these players are just doing what their coaches are telling them to do. And that Packers team showed why it, went into Dallas and took their cheeks and they came over to Levi's and they were really close to taking us home.
Yep.
And luckily the first round quarterback made the mistake that you can't make. Yep. And that's I think it was on first down actually on his drive where he just throws a big old interception to Dre Greenlaw, who I don't know. Some people say he's still running on the 680 trying to score. It was mad funny, but it's just I think we did something that all season we had it done. I think the sexy stat is that the Niners are now 1-30
and sexy stat
in fourth quarter comebacks, and essentially Brock showed what people saying he couldn't do. Yep. We lost Deebo Samuel. I hope this guy's ready for the next game. Narrative was that we couldn't win with him. They weren't wrong. I think the games that Deebo was out this season, we lost, and with Trent also. And Brock hadn't really had to come back in the fourth quarter. And the time that he almost could have done it in the Browns game where he set us up for a field goal try, Moody missed it. And this time he didn't.
Shout out to Jake Moody, man. If we don't make that field goal, we don't win this game. I don't even think I think we actually lose in the fourth quarter. I don't think the team has the momentum to keep up the fight.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this game is really hard to break down, man. Like, these water games have just been terrible, like, the entire Shanahan era. I think there's been a few water games now. There's the Chicago Monsoon game.
The Trey Typhoon.
Yeah, and the Typhoon. And then the that Waterworks game with Indianapolis at Levi's.
Yep.
That was a terrible game for us too. Yeah. And now this one, we just don't play well in the elements. I think the one time was that Jimmy game in Washington where that team was just playing free in all over the place. The Mud Bowl was great. Yeah. But I guess maybe that's the thing. Jimmy can play in the mud and these guys can't. Shout out to Jimmy.
Shout out to Jimmy. I think playing in New England, he kind of acclimated to some of the weather that goes on and around. It's strange to me that Brock Purdy can't play in the elements coming from Iowa State. I know he's a Arizona guy and it's always sunny and stuff, but it's kind of strange to me that coming from college in the snow, and he started all 4 years that he's playing this way. A lot of people like to dog on him because the combine stuff. His hands are small. Yada yada yada. But it did look like he was uncomfortable out there with the wet ball. So I'm happy.
Dude was wiping his hands on his butt in the middle of throwing.
Yeah, in the shotgun. So
yeah,
it had to do with that. Had to for sure do something. But it also let's you were touching on it. Kyle Shanahan in the rain isn't really friendly to this team. It's raining, it's wet. And we lost Debo, and
3rd and 10, he's throwing 15-yard passes.
And 3rd and 10, this guy's throwing 15-yard passes to the great Juwan Jennings. But what do you got to say about Kyle in this game?
Oh man, Kyle, F minus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like drop him from the class. Kyle, man, like I think I've said it offline. Like Kyle needs the sports psychologist that Meta World Peace had, or AKA Ron Artest had when he was on the Lakers, to kind of like rein him in and have him hyper focus on the match. Kyle clearly gets lost. He gets lost in the fourth quarter of championship games, and
high stress situations he gets flustered.
I'd be curious to see how much of this was Purdy. There's a couple clips out there where Purdy's even correcting some people at the line, making sure the drive goes well before the Christian McCaffrey for either big first down or touchdown. And Kyle just called a terrible game. And I think nothing was more encompassing of his gameplay calling coming out of halftime. And he has Juwan Jennings running what would typically be like a Debo sweep or Debo run. It's like, how do you miscall that play? And also, how does Purdy not check that play and correct them? I think it's, sometimes like in life, you have to overcome bad teaching, bad parenting. In championship teams, players have to overcome bad coaching. Yeah. And I think in this game, it was some very terrible coaching that was had. And even before the game started, I don't know why they put, Ryan back there at number 33 safety instead of Tiggs Brown. I don't know if Tiggs is maybe hurt. Maybe that's what the decision was. But that big Aaron Jones scamper was a missed tackle by him. Yep. He was out of position. Stuff that like you don't expect a veteran guy to do. That's I put that on Shanahan for choosing to start him over Brown, and the personnel stuff too. Like I know this isn't Madden, I know this is real life, but I mean you got play calls where you're missing Debo, so I see Ayuk obviously, but then Conley and Ray out there, and it's like, wow. As skill position players, if I had to rank my best skill positions, right, I'm going and the top whatever is you can nitpick. But I'm going Ayuk, I'm going Debo, I'm going Kittle, I'm going CMC, right? In whatever order you want. And then from there, right, I'm probably putting Eli Mitchell. Yep. And then I'm probably putting Juwan Jennings.
Yep. I'm putting Juwan Jennings over Eli Mitchell.
Sure.
But yeah.
But right, like they're right there, right? And then everything else to me is a crapshoot.
It's a wash, yeah.
It's JP Mason, it's Conley, it's Ray McLeod, it's Warner, it's Rodswelly, it's
Ronnie.
My disrespect to Juszczyk. Juszczyk is in the top.
Yeah, he's in the top.
Juszczyk's in the top. My bad.
He's his weapon in his own right.
He's where he needs to be. He's at the top. He's in that Debo Kittle group. Yep. And what I say about that is like, why isn't there a pistol formation once Debo's out, where you got Ayuk and McCaffrey at receiver, right? You use McCaffrey as Debo, and then you have Eli and Mason in the back, or Juice and Eli in the back, and you still got Kittle and you got Juice. It's like that is a more talented skill position group like formation than putting Conley and Ray and Ayuk out there with CMC and single back.
And spread empty or
whatever. Yeah. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Put the best players on the play.
Yeah.
And help the quarterback out. Yeah. Help the run game. Don't give up on the run game. Be intentional with the run game.
There was almost no run game.
And it's like, man, and again, I don't know if I put that part on Kyle, but then I also see that I think Purdy had a good 4 or 5 wide open misses. And so that's why I give the whole game a collective loss for the team, because it was bad on bad for 85% of the game. And in the last 3 minutes when it counted, Brock Purdy did something that championship quarterbacks do, and he led a game-winning drive, had that nice little like 9-yard scamper, and he basically saved the season.
Yep. We were going to go home. We're gonna go outside. Kind of. I was about to log off of Instagram and Twitter and like try to stay away from these Cowboy fans because we were looking that bad. We were looking like we were about to leave like that. And thank God we got Brock Purdy. We have like a quarterback that could do that, which we knew what we were missing when we had Jimmy Garoppolo or when we had Trey Lance. We just knew that these guys couldn't do that. Although Jimmy Garoppolo is talented in his own right with the quick draw and like he's a fast release quarterback, and Trey's got the deep ball and somewhat of scrambling, but none of them had the internal mechanisms to actually execute plays and execute a drive to win the game, especially in the playoffs when your entire team is playing bad. I agree with you with Kyle. Called a horrible game. I don't understand any of the personnel decisions that he did. I don't understand the end of the first half. I think at the end of first half, I was hysterically laughing like the Joker because you burn 46 seconds off the clock trying to score, and you try to draw the defense offside, and then you waste a timeout after the 46 seconds, and then you do a deep kick with Jake Moody, who hasn't been like good all year. And so like these are situations where I have over drastically been like, oh, this is why we should like move on from Kyle, because he doesn't put his guys in the best position to win. In situations like that, where he is exactly what I'm talking about, where at the end of the first half in the Super Bowl, I don't know why we're not trying to go at least get 3 before the half, and he just takes a knee and gets out. This is the same kind of situation where, hey, dude, you need to go put some points on the board, and you didn't do it the best way you could have. You actually went the hardest route to get the least amount of points. And I'm like, why are we doing this? And it looks like Kyle, again and again, how everybody's been saying, he's just very married to his playbook. Whatever it is, he just doesn't matter if it's a win, lose, or draw. He's like, this is the sword I'm going to die on, and I'm going to take everybody out with me. But it's not fair when you have almost the best team in the NFL roster wise, and you're just playing like this. I don't understand.
Kyle needs a clutch consultant. Yeah. I think what's hard to have, what's the conversation that's difficult to have when it comes to these coaching things is that Kyle, as a regular season coach, there's nothing to really like nitpick at. He does everything you need to, whether his team is good, bad, like roster wise or health wise. Like the team never gets up on him. All the other intangibles. We have, I think, 3 or 4 position coaches that are head coaches in the National Football League that come out of his organizations. Every time I hear former players like Raheem Mostert on their podcast or anywhere else talk about, it's all love and stuff for Kyle. Even to say like, he's a straight shooter. You might not like what you want to hear, or you might not like what you hear or get what you want to hear, but Kyle's shooting to it straight. And you can tell by the way that free agents and everything come to this team. And I think overall those things make him an A coach.
Yeah.
What the problem is in these situations that you're talking about, where we consistently keep losing the same ways, right? And it's like, I said it multiple times. If you're undersized, cheaper front lineman, O-lineman that, you have to skimp on because you're spending money everywhere else, cannot sit back and pass block, then why is your game scheme in championship games to drop back and pass? To me, every game that you're in as a Kyle Shanahan offense, you need to have the same energy that you had in the Vikings playoff game at Levi's a couple seasons ago. Yep. You're going to dictate to the run. They're going to want to stop you. And then when you need to, you're going to make some passes. But you will have been running the ball so effectively that in a handful of, let's call it 15, 20 times where your line needs to really hold back and block, they're going to be more able to do that because they haven't been dropping back and passing to a bunch of drops or miscues or whatever. And Kyle doesn't do that. And sometimes, like I mentioned, the Juwan play or all these other ones where it's like, man, there were multiple either just straight up bad calls where we're in 3rd and long. We were behind on almost. It felt like every possession that we were on, we ended up being behind. And I don't have the 3rd down completion percentage up with me, but man, it was like we had way too many opportunities to complete their downs, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
There were no like second conversions, like Like, no, man.
No, it was like 2nd and 10, and then we had to get
exactly. It's 2nd and 10, and we got nothing.
Yeah,
and it was just like, man, like Kyle's just making it so hard, and it's like, and I put that on Kyle because I seen Kyle make it so easy.
Yep.
You know,
with worst talent,
and it's like, and I'm like, oh, well,
with
it's the playoffs,
CJ
this and that, and I'm like, I understand the playoffs are a different game, but it's like, it wasn't even like we're running the ball and we're getting stuffed and shut down.
Nope.
He just wasn't trying to run it.
He wasn't trying to,
and I'm just like,
when we did run it, we weren't running our best ball. We were running single back.
We're not running great running plays anymore.
Like as soon as I like what's the play's called 85 Mike or 18 Mike something, where McCaffrey got the touchdown, and hearing McCaffrey talk about the play, he's like he kind of called it. He was like, I'm gonna score on this play, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was like, I just like when Debo or when Juice is back there in the dot, and I just feel more comfortable running the ball, and I'm like, yeah, the rest of the world does. When you have Kyle Juszczyk, the best fullback in the league, in front of you, and you have behind him is the best running back in the league, we're gonna get.
And you have undersized linemen that are specializing in zone blocking schemes,
because they're fast.
Exactly.
Because they can run farther because they're fast. You're like, oh yeah, I totally agree with you, Christian. I feel so confident that we can score.
Yeah, Christian's saying, I just have to break one tackle.
I have to break one, or I just have to read the right blocks, and I'm out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Christian, we know. Can you tell your coach to be like, hey, can we run power, bro?
Yeah.
Can we run power to the left like we did like once in the game? Like, why
we have that running joke with anytime Mike Shanahan's in the building, like he'd be running the ball for his daddy.
Yeah, bro. Because Mike just be looking like he'd be looking on the sideline, kind of just mean, kind of looks like a Muppet, just kind of like angry. And Kyle just
with
plays
chiclet teeth.
He plays really good in front of his dad, and I'm like,
he runs that ball, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, bro, if you need Terrell Davis in the building too,
give Mike some sideline seats, man. I can't handle this, man. That game took years off my life. I'm really proud of this team for winning it. I'm
really proud of Brock Purdy.
I think it makes us. I don't know, man. It's hard what to get into in this game. Everything was just a letdown. Special teams was a letdown. I've been calling it all game. But the two positive things here is that, again, and maybe to Shanahan's credit, this team doesn't give up. Nope. High character team.
Yes.
All the role players, bro. All the role players saved us.
Yep.
Ray Conley. Conley's huge, like 17-yard catch on the out. Like, bro, that was huge. Juwan Jennings with multiple catches in that fourth quarter. And Moody making his kicks. Like, man, and the defense started doing its thing at the end when it needed to. It's like, man, hey, we're not going out like that. We're gonna give you a stop, and here it is. And here's a turnover, baby.
Here's a turnover, and then here's game.
It's game. We're calling game. They were so high from a touchdown. They're like, nah, we're gonna wrap this up right here.
Yep.
And I was just like, yep. I felt it. I went from like super nervous, and then like, if you read like the chat, I was like, I'm supremely confident. Cop the tickets. We're winning this. And that's how I felt. That's how I felt in that Green Bay game a couple years back when Robbie. I was like, oh, Robbie's kicking this.
Yeah.
We're going.
As soon as you saw Debo in the backfield, 3rd and 6, and he ran for 9 or something, you're like, we're going. And you're like, and I was like, oh no, like why? And he's like, Sam's like, now we're going to the chip, dude. And I was like, what? He's like, Robbie's making this kick. There's no way he doesn't. And I was like,
he hates the Packers.
And I was like, what?
This is the kick of his life.
And then he was right.
Yeah.
Debo runs for 9 yards.
And Moody Weather, like,
again,
best kick of the season.
That game, that run, what's his face? He's our offensive line coach, Chris.
Cassar? No, that's D-line.
That's D-line. His name is
I know you're talking. I see his face. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I see his face. His name is Chris. But anyways, he was like, that was the play of the game, and it was executed poorly. But you know what happened? Superstar Deebo Samuel made it possible. And I was like, yep. I was looking back. I was like, yeah, none of the blocks. Nobody got pancaked. There was no hole. Deebo just ran out, broke a tackle, trucked the dude, and, hurt his ankle because his ankle was hurt all game. But won us the game. And then that's exactly how I kind of felt about this game. I was like, wow, Brock Purdy, after seeing him scramble, and I was just, go, Brock. And he went, and he just dived in front of the first yard. I was like, oh, we just won.
Yeah.
Like, Brock just won us the game right there. Like, there was no...
And that's the skill that Jimmy lost when he tore his ACL.
Yeah, he had no more extension of his skills.
And Brock, and it's like, you don't need to be Lamar and Mahomes, although that is what's going to win you multiple championships. But as long as you can do what Brock did, you can get in the dance, you can have a shot.
Oh, no, Brock is I keep saying it. Brock is talented in the short yardage, similarly to Mahomes and Lamar. Lamar and Brock have almost the same change of direction speed. Even if it's for what, maybe 5 yards or whatever. And yeah, Brock's not gonna break away, but Brock's got some shake to him. And when he rolls out, he makes dimes. That dime to Kittle was his best throw of the I want to say of this season. Like it was pretty well.
It was a bomb.
It was a bomb. And he was rolling out to his right in the rain. He was struggling all game, and he hit his target. And I was like, yeah, like okay. I was like, I didn't want to see that.
the best man. Like top 3 throws. That's one there. The Juwan Jennings one's on there because the pass is beautiful and the catch is hard.
It's hard,
but the one that I don't think is not talked about enough is that Brandon Ayuk one,
the Steelers one, where he throws it right at him, or this game?
No, in this game, Brandon Ayuk has
the shoelace.
That one was behind. That was good too. But the pass, it was like he's basically got one. He's got a man covered him like a windshield
over
wiper.
The middle.
Over the middle, yeah.
Yeah, that was
like kind of like
he just
diving
threaded
down.
the needle perfectly in between the receivers, the DB's hands.
I was like, man, hard pass, even harder catch, and Brandon catches it, puts his hands under it, and he just face plants. And grinds for like 2 or 3 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Like
there was no movement of the ball.
No, he just holds it. He's just like he's got it, and I was just like, all right, here we are. We're going. We're moving.
Yeah, we're moving.
And that's the thing too, bro. Brandon Ayuk, bro. Kyle, give Brandon the ball, bro.
Yeah.
Brandon, how many catches did Brandon have? Like 3 or 4?
I don't. Yeah, like 2 or 3.
Like Jesus, man.
It was not enough.
This game was so tough. It was tough on my life.
It was tough, and I feel like I know he doesn't do it on purpose, but it feels like he does. It feels.
Why do you hate me, Kyle?
It's not that he hates it. It's like he wants this team to win in the hardest way for some reason. Like you know how those mini games I used to play in Madden where I was like, I'm gonna play the Niners, but I'm gonna play as Sam Darnold, or I'm gonna play as the backup or the punter. I'm gonna play with Mitch at quarterback because it's too easy and I want to make it hard and have fun.
Yeah,
and I feel like Kyle just does some stuff like that, and that's. Just like Rich Eisen said, man, it's the two cute Olympics. Like, you don't need to do this to win, and you've shown us that you don't.
Exactly.
And this Packers team is good. I'm giving them their props because they give everybody a tough battle, but the toughest battle was not given to us, but like birthed from us.
Self-imposed.
It was self-imposed, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And we're not even talking.
It was
this is strictly on the offense. We haven't even got into Steve Wilkes' horrible game call either.
Let's transition to that.
Jesus Christ.
49ers defense, run stopping defense. Where are you guys?
Where is anything?
Where's all the money that we've put in this D line at?
Nowhere, dude. We have 0 sacks this game. I enjoy the pressures, and I understand that the pressure is the reason why we got the pick and stuff. And I think we talked about this in the last cast too, that okay, I understand the philosophy of the line, and the line's supposed to just pressure the quarterback so he can make mistakes. I understand that. But you can't have that type of play calling when you have Logan Ryan as your safety, when you don't have a good defensive backcourt, Ambry Thomas had 2 PI calls this game and didn't get benched. What are we doing? What is going on? Why isn't Isaiah Oliver at least getting a snap? Why this? You know what this felt like? Do you remember the name Greg Mabin, bruh? Greg Mabin, when he was just getting dotted by Aaron Rodgers? This is exactly how that felt. And I was like, why? Again. I was like, why is this happening?
And good for Jordan Love for picking on him.
Yeah, I mean, that's smart. That's exactly. No, Jordan Love does not get. I think now after this game, he's getting the appreciation he deserves. But
he played a great game. Shout out to him.
He's not only
torching our defense,
executing well, but he has bought into that offense and that identity that LaFleur
One thing I hate about this defense, man, is like we played down to the level of our competition.
Yeah, why?
We did not let Lamar get away with some of this stuff.
Nope. No, we
didn't. You know what I'm saying? And then here comes Jordan Love, and they're like not taking him seriously or something.
The lack of creativity on the line, I miss seeing Nick Bosa at like defensive tackle sometimes, or doing some stunts. Having
some funky stuff.
Like pairing him up with like Randy or something. Like something. I want to see some creativity to like actually cause some game changing things to happen on defense, because it's not happening. And you're letting Aaron Jones, who's
He's a great back.
He's a great back, but you're just letting him
top 5 back in the league.
Yeah, he is. But you're just letting them run all over your face.
Yeah,
with great linebackers too. And I'm like,
yep.
We're not this bad, guys.
Yep.
And are we though?
Exactly. Are we? That's exactly. I didn't think we were. But honestly, this is good. It's good and it's bad. because it's good for us to have this taste in our mouth. Because all season it was like, oh, front runners, and you can't say we're front runners anymore.
No, not anymore.
We earned the spot in the NFC Championship game. We earned a hard win. Like it was a big character win. I hope the team really understands like they need to execute. I'm hoping that maybe we can just make the excuse about the weather and blah blah blah. Because man, this team is, at least on paper, supposed to be way better than what we've shown. And I'm hoping if we're gonna have a great bounce back game, it's this Sunday.
Let's talk about this Sunday. NFC Championship at Levi's. You know what's going on. We got to go home.
We're going to be there.
Field of Jeans. The House of Jeans. The
house that Harbaugh built.
Oh, man. Damn. That's a deep cut. Holy shit. But me and Sam are undefeated in the playoffs at Levi's. So we're going to be going out there. We're also taking another homie Nestor and Brian. We're all gonna be out there in our gold jackets, trying to share some of this luck. Or
homie Nestor with the brother Nestor, and
Nestor,
the homie Brian.
My fault.
Yeah, but man, this is it's gonna be a tough game. I think Dan Campbell. I really appreciate this guy, man. He's super aggressive. I think what he lacks maybe in like play calling wizardry or whatever
he makes up
is in supreme focus and intent, even when I don't agree with his aggression, a la the Cowboys game. It's something that, even if you've ever played like flag football or whatever, if you know there's a team that it doesn't matter what the situation is, they're gonna go for it on fourth because they have the talent and they believe. When you have to play against something like that, it just creates a different dynamic. Where it's like, oh, I'm playing for 3 and out. It's like, no, you're playing for 4 and out. Because that's what this guy's going to do. And he's going to do some stuff on special teams. And he's going to run the ball. And he's going to hit our guys low. And he's going to come in here. And he's going to have this team saying, no one fucking believes in you guys. I've believed in you guys this entire time. And I'm getting Jim Harbaugh vibes, man. Like, that's the kind of attitude he's bringing to that city and to that club. Yep. Jared Goff, I think, feels like he's like reborn. I expect us to win, but it's gonna be a fight.
This team to me feels like bring a nice bring back to history. It feels like the Anglo-Saxons versus the Vikings.
Sheesh.
The Vikings were a group who were fearless of death, and they would just berserk anybody in front of them. And the Saxons, they were better. They had more technology. They were more organized and stuff, but they would get snuck a lot by those Vikings because they did not expect them to not fear to be able to die, or they had no fear, and they couldn't plan for that. And I think that type of team is somewhat of a kryptonite to this Niner team, especially to Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan showed that in the first half and in the Super Bowl, where, hey, if you can get in this guy's grill, and if you can get in his head, this guy, we don't have to beat that team. He will beat that team. He will beat his own team, and we just have to outlast them. And that's been Dan Campbell's whole philosophy, is like, hey, we're just going to outlast teams. And whoever is going to make more mistakes is going to be the loser, and we're not going to make as much as you are, I can promise.
Yeah. And they have talent. They have talent all across the field at every level on both sides of the ball. I actually think their special teams is better than ours.
Yes, it is.
And, when I saw them against the Bucs team, and I didn't really see a lot of mistakes.
Nope.
And they've been playing indoors, and, we've been having some bad games. The 49ers this weekend were the worst performing team
in the playoffs
in this round.
I think in the playoffs.
Overall?
I think we played worse than even though the Cowboys lost, they dropped 30 points.
Fair.
Yeah, they dropped 30 points.
Yeah, we've been dang.
The Browns played better than us. The Browns just spiraled in the second
we were
half.
bad.
We were the worst team in the playoffs so far, I believe.
Yeah.
The Eagles.
They were. No, I don't know.
The Eagles are pretty bad. I think the Eagles are worse. We're for sure. We're tied with the Eagles, I think, with the worst playoff performances so far.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Kyle and the team have a lot to show. I'm hoping that we come out hot. We got to just basically replicate what Bill Belichick did to Goff in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Rams, Patriots.
There's only up from here, hopefully. Because I do feel like that was our floor.
Yeah.
You know? And we can only go up unless we do spiral out of control and then we just lose.
Yeah. I mean, despite how terrible the game was, Brock didn't throw any picks.
No picks. He threw. Everybody likes to talk about like the almost pick six, and he got like he was gonna.
Yeah, bro. Almost isn't a pick though.
Almost isn't a pick. Almost isn't a pick.
Almost
six.
losing isn't losing.
And he wasn't. And he wasn't throwing. You know, like he didn't look
like. And the reason
Josh
I call
Allen.
that out is because I think there could have been a narrative that could have been said that Brock spirals when things aren't going well, and in this game he didn't. He actually checked in and he elevated the team. If you see this game and you still say that Brock doesn't elevate the players around him, you're a liar. Because he had Jawan Jennings
and Chris
Conley. He had Raven McLeod. He's a special team guy. He's a 30-year-old
he's
journeyman
a
receiver.
Yeah,
that even the Chiefs didn't want.
Yep.
Okay. And if you know anything about the Chiefs this regular season, they've been having dropsies, and they wish they would have had Conley this season.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? They missed that guy. And like the fact that we're over here with this guy who's like learning the ropes, who basically didn't really get any playing time until that last game of the season when we rested everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who Brock was moving the ball down towards and having significant chain moving
he was winning the
passes. He won the game with the backups.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're telling me he doesn't elevate the play of his team?
Yeah.
Give me a dry grass, bro, and we're gonna bomb it on these Lions, bro. We're gonna bomb it on these fools, bro. Ha sueña,
I have no. I think Brock's actually. I think you're right. I think we're gonna play a far better offensive game in this Lions game. I think we're actually gonna run the ball. I think Kyle
run the ball.
I think Kyle's gonna finally do what we've been wishing and unleashing the great.
As soon as I get to Levi's, bro, I'm looking for that fool Kyle. And I'm gonna yell at that guy. Kyle, por el amor de Dios,
put in JP Mason.
Run the ball. Give Mason 10 carries, please.
Dude, the guy is still averaging 6 yards a carry this season.
Oh my gosh,
that's 60 yards, guys.
Didn't even see the grass this weekend.
Undefeated in the red zone.
Him nor Eli. It's just ridiculous.
I don't know. I can't protect Kyle anymore. I can't. If people were just
heck nah. I'm not protecting Kyle at all. I drag him through the mud. This is my thing that I'm upset about as I'm thinking about this. Is like Brock Purdy's getting all this hate. Today is it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's Tuesday.
Overreaction Tuesday.
It's Overreaction Tuesday right now. And everyone is just taking huge, 9-month baby dumps on Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
huge dumps, bro. This kid is a second-year starter who's going to back-to-back NFC Championship
Mr.
games.
Irrelevant.
He's the last pick in the draft. Nobody believed in this kid. And you're like, oh, he's got all this talent or whatever. Bro, like, he's making the throws.
Yeah, he's playing better
and
than
even
your
when people
quarterback.
leave, he puts us in positions to win.
Playing better than your favorite quarterback, bro.
He's had 2 seasons, and his worst game was against the number 1 defense in the Baltimore Ravens, or a wet and rainy game in the Browns, or a game in the Vikings where he got concussed. Yeah. Where you could argue the defense lost the game because they're doing 0 coverage.
Jesus Christ!
You know, like it's like, bro, he's a rookie, bro.
Yeah,
he's a young man.
He's a young cat, and he's
it's like Colin Kaepernick didn't get this much hate.
Nope.
You know, I will never forgive Colin Kaepernick for forcing balls down to Crabtree when you had Vernon Davis open for the first yard marker at the Seahawks game,
or Frank Gore in the check down.
Yeah, and it's like no one ever disrespected Kaepernick the way they disrespected Purdy, and Purdy's got the numbers and the records and the stats, sexy stats, and it's like, how are you doing this to my man Brock? And why? And it's like, you know what? It's cool. I don't need you to kiss his butt all the time, but why don't you pick apart Shanahan like this?
Yes, Shanahan. The people who deserve this
why aren't they taking big 9-month baby dumps on Shanahan
or Steve Wilkes?
Yeah, like the coaching is abysmal. Bro, you have all this talent.
You have a 99 rated overall defense.
I want a 15-minute segment on how the heck Kyle Shanahan forgot that Deebo Samuel wasn't in the game.
Yeah, I don't understand why Jawan Jennings is. It's
what the heck is going on? Take a dump on him.
And they won't. You know
what's going on there? I hate that, man. That really makes me upset.
They won't do it.
It's like when you're at work and you're blaming all the individual contributors because leadership doesn't know how to run the organization.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, this is a management issue. Leave my boy alone. Yeah, management here is buns.
And he's keeping
They're over here looking at Jira dashboards. And you're mad at the talent? What the heck? Get off slack, bro. Get in the game. Roll up your sleeves. Unbutton the collar. Get in the game. Brock Purdy, bro, he's out here willing and dealing. My man was out here with a broken elbow, but handing it off with his left hand.
Yeah. Statue of Liberty.
And you're over here like taking dumps on him?
I don't understand it.
Like, you don't have to love him, bro.
I think
but taking dumps on him like this?
I have a strange feeling this year, even like seeing how CNBC has censored a lot of the
the Jesus stuff?
The Jesus stuff. I think a lot of it is kind of that.
Hey, what's happening with that? I thought America loved Jesus.
I think it's, to be honest.
Oh, damn, bro. You just said the word, now we're demoted. Can't even. You better bleep that out.
I'll try.
Oh, no. We can't even post this podcast no more.
I'll
God dang it.
I think it's
This is a good cast. You don't say that word,
I'm gonna
bro.
clip it. I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna clip it out.
I hope there's just a gap in this thing, and I hope you guys can figure out what word that is.
35.
Oh, no.
35 seconds.
No. We're just demonetized. Man, this is never going to see the light of day. Man.
I think it's them, you know. The
they, them?
The they, them.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this was a nice podcast. We were having a good time, guys. I think we're going to get canceled now. Well, dang. Gosh darn it. Oh, heavens.
No, I think it has something to do with the hatred on Brock, though.
You know, we're going to pivot really hard off of this. And, why didn't Great Drake Greenlaw go down?
Hey. Hey, Drake Greenlaw, you talking about Meta World Peace? This guy is giving me the similar kind of energy.
He's just chaotic, bro.
Like,
he's a chaos agent.
He's like, oh, I was trying to get a pick six. I was like, dude, why? He's like, oh, because Fred said. I'm like,
I love that was such a little brother thing to say too. It was like, Fred told me to get a pick six.
Yeah, and
and he says it's his fault.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, dang. I was like, I actually love that. I was just like, whatever, bro. Like, it just hurts because like I've actually seen it happen, right? If you guys remember, I think it was Singletary's first season. We have a cornerback named Nate Clemens, or was it Clemens or Sly? I think it was Clemens. No, it was Clemens, and then
or was it Rogers?
No. This is before that. Those guys came when Harbaugh came, but we're in Atlanta. Atlanta still has Roddy White. Nate picks him off, starts running it back, and starts dancing and stuff. And then Roddy White comes up behind and strips him, and then Atlanta recovers the ball, and then we lose by a field goal. Ugh. And so I've seen it happen in real time, and it hurts and it makes me sick. Everybody. And then I'm like, oh, like we'll learn from this. This will never happen again. And like the same way that you see guys that like do like a punt return or something, and they start celebrating at the 1 yard line and jump the ball, and you're like, oh, this will never happen. Like they're gonna get coached away from this. And sure enough, every season one of these players does something like this, where you're like, how is this still happening? And he's like,
he did it twice, dude.
He's like, it's like he had a basketball on his arm.
Yeah,
like he was kind of like dribbling with it. Yeah. He wasn't high and tight. Like if you see CMC's game winning touchdown, he has like X-Men covered arms over the ball.
Yeah.
High elbows, high knees, perfect posture. Like
the helmet's like almost blocking the ball inside of him, you know?
He's like, the tip of the ball is under his chin strap.
His chin strap, bro. Like he's just holding the ball.
Meanwhile, Drake Greenlaw
is doing
he's dribbling.
He's doing pass rush moves on people, bro.
He's doing swim
moves on
with
people
the ball hand.
With the ball hand. Yes. And I was like, go. Everybody was like, go. I was rewatching.
There's so many angles of it.
There's so many angles, and I'm rewatching like YouTube videos of people like who go to the game and recording and stuff. And people who aren't even Niner fans that just went to this game were like, yeah, go down, go. What's going on? And Drake, 57 over there just running around and stuff. And I was like,
all the takes are hilarious. Warner just like he like has had his hands up, already celebrating, and then he sees like Greenlaw still running.
Oh heavens!
And there's like an angle also of John Lynch. You see him, and he's like pointing to the ground.
Yeah.
down.
The play's over. Javon Hargraves, sorry. He runs over. He's like, bro, what was you doing? And then Dre's like, and I was just like, oh my god,
he's just crazy, bro. He wanted the end zone. I love that mentality, bro. It's just crazy. You know, it's like you can't. That's the thing about like. That's the thing you just need about players sometimes. You just need them to take over sometimes, and you can't have a guy be both, like this controlled guy and then also the guy that's gonna just drive seal the game for you.
He's not Fred.
Shout out to Drake Greenlaw, bro.
Shout out to Drake Greenlaw. Thanks. Thank
you for saving my season.
Thanks you for saving the season. Thank you for Seattle. Thank you for everything that you've done for this organization. You've been
and will continue to do.
And you will continue to do because you're great. And I never change, dude. Never change.
Never change, bro.
Never change. I love that. But all right, how you look? You're feeling good about these Lions then? Same old Lions.
No, these Lions are gonna be great. It's gonna be a hard game, but I just I expect this team now is tested. I think we didn't even really get into like whether or not the team was rusty and like what effects does rust have to do with things. I think
These are professionals.
It's something that maybe this could have got attributed to. There's just so many variables as to why this game was poor. I'm talking about the Packers game.
Yeah, I know.
That I just expect this team to go back and start looking like the dominant team that they've been. Yeah. And I think Dan Campbell's going to make it hard. I think these lines are going to come and play us really tough.
They are.
I think we need to be able to withstand. Like I think either way, the Lions are getting the ball in the first drive, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to be able to play for 4 downs because that's what they're going to go for it. The Lions need to score on their opening drive, okay? If the Lions cannot score on their opening drive, we're winning this game. Because they are going to come and they're going to be putting the pressure. And Dan Campbell understands that against Kyle Shanahan and this offense, you have to put us away early because we have historically been a front-running team. Okay? So he's going to come out here. He's going to try to drop as close to 20 or 17 points as he can within the first quarter. So that's going to mean that our defense is going to have to get some stops. Right? We're going to have to run block.
Yeah.
We're going to have to run stop. And if we do not do that, we're not going to win this game.
I think the team that wins this game is whoever has the best defensive line. And their defensive line is all right, but they do have a hot hand in Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan man, versus Nick Bosa, the Ohio State. He's been a sleeping bear this year.
Nick needs to wake up, bro.
He's not been playing up to par. Up to his.
He needs to take over. Yeah, right now the best players gotta make the best plays.
Yeah.
And I think the Niners have the best players overall, and they need to prove that they are on Sunday. Because otherwise these lines are not gonna go away. This is probably gonna be a high scoring game, not because the defense isn't good enough, but because they can strike quick.
Yeah, they can.
But oh man, I'm contradicting myself because I actually think if the Lions are gonna win, they have to shorten the game, which means they're gonna have to run the ball. And they're gonna have to keep us on the sideline, just like the Packers did. We didn't touch the ball low key until like the second quarter. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk's first catch wasn't until 10 minutes into the second quarter.
But that's all Kyle Shanahan. I don't think that's anything that Green Bay did to us that we.
But that's the recipe for the Lions to win.
Yeah.
If they can figure out and they say, oh, this is something that's like on tape and we can expose it consistently, that's how we lose. Yeah. And even if they can do that again and we still win, we're not winning a Super Bowl like this.
No, we're not.
We cannot allow that because we need to do that to those teams.
Yeah,
you got to limit possessions for Mahomes and Lamar of the world, right?
Yeah, there's no shootouts against the Niners if Kyle Shanahan wants a shootout between us and the AFC for the Super Bowl, there's no way we win that.
No,
there's
no way.
Those guys are just. They're supposed to be better, and they are better for doing.
They're better athletes.
They're better.
They're better quarterbacks. They're better athletes. It's where the league has gone. It's where the rules are at. You can't smack them. You can't do all these things. And so it's in your best it's in your best interest to have a running quarterback that can go out there and make 20 or 30 yard runs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like we cannot play that game.
Nope.
And that's it's hard to draft those guys. I was like, yeah, well you show me where Lamar Jackson is at the end of the draft. You show me where the Mahomes is at the end of the draft.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's what we draft every year. You know why? Because we're in the championship season every year. So tell me.
We missed on both of those guys.
Yeah, we did. And then when we try to get our own Trey Lance guy, he wasn't the guy. Nope. And so it's like it's hard to get those guys. When you can, you do, and that's just not who we got. And even when we had Kaepernick was not as good as Brock Purdy as a quarterback. As an athlete, way better athlete.
Yep.
But as a quarterback. He wasn't making these reads. He had no touch on his passes.
I think Trey Lance is a better athlete than Brock Purdy, but he's not.
But he can't. He's inaccurate.
He couldn't.
And so it's like this weekend, we're lucky that we have Jared Goff, who's playing really well, probably the best he's had in his whole career.
NorCal Tice.
He's got a great running back up behind him. He's got a great O line. I think his O line is better.
Actually,
I picked them over our D line.
Currently, today is Tuesday the 23rd. Frank Ragnow is out currently, or he's
scheduled to miss.
He's set to miss because some leg injury or something, and so they're gonna have a backup there that I hope to the Lord.
He's probably better knowing our look, so we can't take anything for granted. I think this Lions defense, they're downhill, they're built to run. I saw what they were doing to Dallas's D line. I think the Niners need to be ready to rotate. It's too bad that we lost to Killian Farrell. He was doing great in that position. I expect Armstead to have the rust off. I need this man to beast mode and like plug some things up. I need Hargrave to step up.
I need Javon Kinlaw to keep doing what he's doing.
Hey, shout out to Kinlaw,
shout
bro.
out to Kinlaw,
he
bro.
He played all games this season.
99, bro.
He was healthy all season, bro.
You're getting my applause, bro.
Hey, I believed in you, bro.
Even
when you were gonna dunk that little reporter guy into the trash can, I believed in you, bro.
Hey, Grant Cohn deserved it, but I did not believe in you, Javon Kinlaw, if you're listening to this. But you're having a fantastic season, and you shut me up completely. You did exactly what I wish you would have done years ago, but I understand the injuries and, you know,
you wanted to, bro.
And I can see that you wanted to and you did. You did not have to replace DeForest Buckner. All you had to do was
do your job.
Do your job to try to match who Eric Armstead was when he was next to DeForest Buckner. And you did.
Yep.
And you're out here. And I see what you're doing, bro.
Yep.
So
and we wouldn't be here without you, bro.
And we wouldn't be here without you. We would not be here without you, Jawan Jennings. I hope you get to keep you. You can be a nice number one guy anywhere else, but I hope J.D. York pays you. We wouldn't be here without Dre Greenlaw. Jake Moody, I hate to say it, but we wouldn't be here without you either, bro. Nope. Even though I do dislike you for some losses, but hey, man, you came through when it mattered, and we wouldn't be here without you either.
And that's what championship teams do. So hopefully we come through when it matters this Sunday. This has been the Samaritans podcast. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Deuces.